have a lot of pens. By a lot of pens, I mean way too many, but today that's a good thing. My name is GbellasArt, and I'm here to figure out which of my pens is the best in my entire stash. Not the whole world, but just my stash, and maybe that can give you some help too. So I'm using my ELO sketchbook along with my mixed media heavyweight Strathmore book, and the paper in this book is very thick compared to my sketchbook, so it'll be a good comparison to see how my pens do when applied to very different papers. And these are the pens I've narrowed down to. So I'm using my Micro Perm, which is coming up right now, my Pigma Micron, which is also part of the same brand. I'm also using my Unipen, my Kofi multiliner, and finally my Tombow model drawing pen, which is a water-based pen. I'm a little nervous to use this one. I've never used it before, so we'll see how it does. I'm also using my Kofi markers as well as my water-based markers to see how well the pens do when they have different kinds of markers and formulas applied to them. So right now I'm drawing out a bunch of circles, and that way once they're dry, I can go in and fill them in with the markers. And the markers will pretty much tell me how well the pen formulas themselves hold up. So like when I apply, an alcohol-based marker like a Copic or a water-based marker like a Tombow, I can see how well the pens do when formulas interact with each other. And let me just say, I was so surprised. I'm going in with this Copic marker, and yes, I'm using yellow with black ink. That's a big no-no, but it's for science, and don't worry, the Copic is fine. It survived. No markers were harmed in making this series. However, one pen did make my bad list, unfortunately. The Micro Perm did so poorly. As soon as I applied the Copic marker, it just started to bleed all over the place, and not just smear, but bleed. Like, I noticed it was traveling across the paper and created this weird halo effect. Kind of see it's a little bit thicker now around the circle than it was before. Even compared to the other ones with the other pens, I did not notice that at all. Maybe there was some smudging, and that kind of can happen sometimes with certain ink formulas, but whatever's in that Micro Perm, it just did not do well at all. I was really disappointed, and I kind of made a mistake there. Oh well. I was at a point where I was already almost done with the experiment. I figured I'll just keep going, even though every part of me was like, you need to redo it. I didn't. I'm like, I gotta finish, but not perfect. And the results were actually strikingly similar in both my sketchbook and the Strathmore paper, which I was not expecting at all. On the whole, that pretty much told me which pens were honestly the best and most consistent across the board. And I gotta test more, but the winners in my book were the Tombow monopen and the Copic multiliner. They did so well. I was really impressed, and I'll be using those for my Inktober piece now. I am using some other pens as well, and also some India ink, because this sky, I cannot fill that sky with the pens that won this challenge. So I'm using my India ink to brush across the sky, and also using my Kuretake brush pen, which I absolutely love. I love the strokes and we'll get with it. And okay, so about this piece, the inspiration behind it is kind of twofold. So the first part is I was inspired by Inktober 2023's day one prompt, which was dream, and I had this mental image of this girl who was sleeping, but her hair was turning into clouds and she's dreaming of the night sky, and it was just so good. And then the second part of that was I was inspired by this verse in the Bible, which says, I will lie down and sleep in peace, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. And that's Psalm 4:8, and I just felt that summed up this piece so beautifully. But yeah, I was really happy with how this piece turned out, and overall, I'm really happy with the results of my experiment as well. The other pens I didn't mention, the Pigma Micron and the Unipen, I noticed people use those more, but on the whole, they were fine. They were average. There's nothing really special. They kind of smudged, but they weren't terrible. I might use those more for sketching. I'm definitely going to get more Tombow water-based pens. Those were amazing. The Copic multiliners were so good. They are more expensive, but you get what you pay for. I will not be using the Micro Perm again. But that's all for now. If you guys enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Let me know down below if I should do any more videos like this, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.